And this is what embodying the Eve gene is about. It's about remembering who you are and not letting or allowing your own conditioning or the conditioning of, society, religion, and men to come in and try and tell you that this is your role. This is who you're supposed to be. You're made out of Adam's rib, You're which is precisely why I have coined this energetic signature as the Eve gene. Peace and prosperity. This is ESAIA Mystic, and welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, welcome. This is the place where you can learn all about decolonizing spirituality and connecting back to primordial feminine energy. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you all today about how to start to activate your Eve gene through feminine embodiment. So the Eve gene, I talk about the Eve gene in another one of my videos, what I believe the Eve gene represents, and I'll link the video in the description. Essentially, the Eve gene is from that video what I've culminated the understanding of what it is and what it means into. It's not only a genetic thing, right? Not only the physical and scientific aspects of the Eve gene, but actually the energetic and psychic aspects of having this gene and being activated in this gene and what that looks like. So the Eve gene essentially is this abundance. Really, it's like the mitochondrial DNA of the soil and the earth, right? From this gene, pretty much you can create any kind of person on the planet. So all of the different kinds of races that you see on the planet, these kinds of people can all be created from this mitochondrial DNA, from this gene, which is called the Eve gene, right? When really it's mitochondrial DNA that is said and known to be prevalent and very abundant in women who are of Afro-Indigenous bloodlines and lineages. So this is the gene that basically is responsible for creating the genetic variances all over the world in people. And it's something that I've come to a point where not only is this gene a physical genetic thing that can be activated in women all over the world, and that it is abundant, right, in Afro-Indigenous women, but it's also an energetic, it's also a mindset, it's also an embodiment, that through your embodiment you can actually activate this gene. Okay, so what is the energetics of the Eve gene? Because it's one thing to understand the biology of it, but what is the energetics of it, right? The energetics of it is you understanding that if you are this pretty much abundant, rich woman in blood, in features, in physicality, what does that mean for you mentally? What does that mean for you spiritually? Right? Are you also connected to that richness? Are you also connected to that abundance? And in that experience, are you also connected to the peace that it brings you in knowing that you are the matriarch of all matriarchs? You are the reason that life exists, pretty much. And without you, there is no life. There is no love. There is no harmony in this world. You are the reason for all of that. Is that something that you can also process, right? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then walk out into the world and move that way, and walk that way, and talk that way, and be that way, and just who you are. Because from what I've noticed in the large majority of modern women, that is not the case. And you don't see yourself as the reason for life existing. You actually see yourself as second best to a man, and you may not even consciously think that you believe this. You actually might think you believe the opposite. You actually might think that you're equal to men, and that you are a man's equal, and that you can do anything that a man does, and you can have all the power, and you can do all the things. You can work the job, you can have the career, you can have the success, right? And you kind of actually are in more of this competitive energy of feminine energy, right? Like you're actually stepping more into your fear of your original feminine energy than your alignment with this original feminine energy. So when you're activating your Eve gene through your feminine embodiment, you are in alignment with your true feminine nature. And when you're moving and flowing into the world as if you are rich and radiant, as if you are abundant and overflowing, as if money just comes to you, people just come to you, men just love you, you are the attractive force of nature that is beautiful, that is love, light, and all of the things, then you're going to show up that way, and you're not going to fall into the modern day traps and paradigms of what most women think is actually them aligning with their feminine energy, right? And even in that, right, some women might know, like I'm tapping into my masculine. But I want to ask you, really, is you tapping into your masculine from your love of your feminine energy, or is it from your fear of it, or is it from your disconnection to it, or is it from being traumatized as your feminine self and feeling unsafe in being a woman, right? And this is the category that a lot of women fall into. And this is where you have the opportunity now to activate your Eve gene and remember the original you before all of the trauma, before all of the modern day societal conditioning about womanhood and how you are even better than men, you can do everything men can do, and so forth, so on and so forth. We want to recode you with the memory that you are the beginning, right? You want to recode you with this. I'm saying we, but because we do, right? Me and my spirit team, we want to recode you with the remembrance that you are the beginning and that you are the abundance, okay? Money comes from you. Money sprouts from you. It might look like it's coming from your job or this opportunity or men, right? When men have money, they come into your life. But it's really that you, right, that is energetically producing this abundance. You might think that you need a partner, right? And in order for you to create life, that you need masculinity to be the thing, right, that actually produces 50% of that life or 50% of that thing that you want to create. And I know the laws of the universe. One of the laws is being the law of gender, that you need both masculine and feminine energy. But a lot of people don't have this perspective correctly aligned, right? And this is why we're talking about alignment here, because it's not about 50% masculinity and 50% feminine energy. It's about, is masculine energy doing its job in your life? And are you allowing it to do its job so that you can be your feminine self? So it's not about you thinking that, you know, you're going half. And the reason I bring up childbirth and your womb is because this is one of the biggest things, right? Right now, scientifically, people think that genetically that your child is half its father and half of its mother, when that's not the way it works, right? That child is predominantly made up of your flesh and blood, and the bloodline of that child is passed down through you, right? But then you have the spark, right? The electrical energy that caused the egg to burst open into creation, which is the masculine energy. And so even in the terminology, when men say, I'm going to spread my seeds and things like that, is delusional, because men don't have seeds. They have electrical sparks, okay? So you are predominantly the one who is creating the life here. It is mama's baby and papa's maybe, okay? And that's a saying that people have said, so on and so forth, I feel, to instill fear into women around childbirth, or to instill the awareness that there are so many women who have children and men just kind of have the choice to be the father or not. When I want you to really stop seeing the way these things are as a bad thing, and start recognizing that these things are this way because that is the way it is. That it literally is the way it is. That baby is you, and that the father, not so much, right? And in, you know, of course, in making sure that you are being supported, and that, you know, you're living by your activated feminine self, your primordial Eve gene energy, you would make sure that you are being protected, right? And provided for, and all of the things. But, you know, it's your child, right? Right now, women are at war with so many men, just in, like, you know, custody battles and, you know, fighting, which, like, I remember a time when I was walking down the street in the neighborhood I used to live in. It was a nice neighborhood. It was, you know, it was a good neighborhood. And there was this couple, and I just saw that they, like, was in a fight about something. They got into a fight about something, and they had a small baby in the stroller, right? And so it was at one point while they were arguing that the guy just decided to take the stroller and walk off away from her, right, with the child, and, you know, go, like, he was, like, walking way in front of her, and all I could see was her running behind him, like, stop, like, give me back the stroller, like, you know, like, running, trying to get her child, like, from this guy that, I mean, obviously she's identified as the father. So I just thought that was very, it was very sad scenario, because you're giving that man way too much power. You're giving that man way too much validation and authority and all of the things. And you see, we don't see things in this way, especially when it comes to our children, because we want to be fair. We want to be equal. We want to be nice, We want to be nice to men. We want to be nice to men. But when your Eve gene is activated, it's not about being nice. It's not about pleasing somebody because they want to feel like they're, you know, a part of the process too. No, the Eve gene is about embodying who you truly are and what you truly represent in this world. And so if you walk into a relationship and you know, a dynamic where a man doesn't want to see you as actually more of a force in the feminine realm than he is, right? You have more importance when it comes to creating life than I do, then that's not the guy for you, right? Like, that is not someone who is aware of their own masculinity and what they mean, right? As a masculine man, he want to be both, right? You can't be both. I have a powerful and potent role and power here, and you have your own, okay? And this is what embodying the Eve gene is about. It's about remembering who you are and not letting or allowing your own conditioning or the conditioning of, you know, society, religion, and men to come in and try and tell you that this is your role. This is who you're supposed to be. You're made out of Adam's rib, you know? Which is precisely why I have coined this energetic signature as the Eve gene, because this is what it's about. So if you are interested in diving deeper into your Eve gene, I've created a course called the Love Potion that specifically helps you to reactivate your Eve gene. And in the Love Potion, I go through 7 critical commandments that I call the 7 commandments of love that recode you and rewire you into being able to actually embody this energy so that people can start to, number one, find you amazingly beautiful and attractive, right? And feel very, very, very at peace and at ease when they're around you. And number 2, you feeling abundantly attractive and at ease with yourself in relationship to your feminine energy. So this is perfect for women who are having a really hard time struggling with connecting to their feminine energy, their worth, and calling in the things that they desire in their life in a very feminine way. So this also has a lot to do with feminine manifestation and feminine ways of really creating your life. So that is my offering to you all. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you see a lot clearer and deeper into what the Eve gene is. I am done with this video for now. Yep, I'm done with the video, and I want to thank all of you for watching. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see a lot more videos like this. And I will catch you guys in my next video.